All right. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Mhm.
Morning.
Morning, morning.
Good morning.
Everyone can turn on their camera. That would be great. Why don't we say hello first before we get into the presentation?
Mhm.
I know it's early morning there, but I'd love to see your cameras open. I am Filipino, so we are all family here.
Yes.
Even though I don't sound
Right.
Filipino, I am Filipino. I was born in Quezon City. So left when I was 6 months old, grew up in Australia and been living overseas for 21 years. Hi, French. French, is that how you pronounce your name? Hi, Ruthie.
Yes, sir.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you. Welcome, welcome. All right, we've got 5 cameras. What about everyone else? This is going to be an interactive session. And remember, this is for you guys. So please, please, please turn on your cameras. I'd love to get to know everybody here. Hi, Casimero. Nice to meet you. Everyone's
Good
cameras
morning.
just waking up. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, a few more cameras and then we can start.
2:30. Some are still joining. Hi, good morning, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Samantha. Very good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for joining. Hi, Sess. Nice to meet you. All right, everyone else that hasn't turned on their camera, they're going to be pitching or telling, they're going to be teaching the course today. All right, let's listen in. So who's teaching today?
Oh, that's how. That's how
Hey,
you
Ian.
turn them on.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Kareen. Kareen. Hi, Kareen. Yeah, if your internet is unstable, no problem. But I'd love to see everyone's faces. This session is for you guys. All right. Ruthie's back. Okay. I think that's as far as we get. I'm not too sure why. Okay. All right, let's start, guys. Firstly, I'd like to get to know who you guys are. If everyone can introduce themselves, just say who your name. I love to find out what your superpower is. Like, what are you good at, right? And it could be anything. Cooking, doesn't have to be academic. And then I always want to know a fun fact. That's the hardest question. But think about a fun fact about you. Okay, so let's start with Angel.
All right. So I'm Angel. I'm a part of the Academy of Entrepreneurs. And on the side, I am an interior designer and a social entrepreneur. I have a bakery, the White Bar PH.
Oh.
Yes. So what else? Fun fact about me. I used to dance ballet.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Right. All right. Welcome, Angel. All right. Next, Riddell.
I'm Rodel from actually from Luzon, but I am already working here now in Mindanao, Philippines. So superpower, maybe I'm fair, not that good in farming because I do farming aside from academics and
Wow.
fun fact, I am a jolly person. I can adapt myself from different levels, from the old ones, teenagers to children. So I think that's all.
Amazing. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you, Riddell. All right, Mark. Mark Anthony.
Hello, good morning. Okay, so I'm from USTP Balubal here in Cagayan de Oro. I'm an instructor. And fun fact about me is I love to play basketball, and that's my hobby. And I
Amazing.
think another fun fact is that um,
You
I
can
love,
dunk.
yeah, I can dunk in a short. Okay, so I also love farming because I'm teaching an agriculture.
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
All
Think
right,
that's
nice to meet you. Welcome. Okay, Fritzy. Okay, Miriam. Hi, Miriam.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Miriam Brando, the Director for Design for Entrepreneurship and Technology here in USTP. So, I'm a mother, a first-time mom. Fun fact about me is I love hiking. I've been to the major top five, I think, in the Philippines hiking. So I really miss
Nice.
hiking. I think it's a lot of work to do now because I had an operation. So I'm
Oh,
hoping I could still climb again.
amazing. A friend of mine is climbing Mount Everest right now. So that's pretty interesting. Nice to meet you, Miriam. All right, French, Maverick.
Hello everyone, I'm Franch Maverick Lorilla. So currently I'm in USTP Cagayan de Oro, and nice to meet you all.
Fun fact?
Fun fact, what's fun about me, huh? Yeah, we're of the same hobby with Sir Mark Anthony. I also play basketball, so I'm so sad that
Amazing.
I was not able to play for many months already because of pandemic. So hope to soon play with some of my colleagues.
Welcome, welcome. Casimiro.
Hello, good morning. Can I be heard? Good morning once again. I am Casimiro Icolina from USTP Claveria, faculty of the College of Agriculture, teaching the basic entrepreneurship courses.
Okay.
But I'm not yet more of becoming expert on entrepreneurship, but I'm still learning.
All right.
My friends call me ROI, Roy, ROI. It seems it relates to entrepreneurship, return on investment. But
love it.
one thing I do not know if it's fun for the other people to hear that I'm not an urban dweller. I love farming because
Okay.
I am an agripreneur by nature. So my pastimes is staying in the farm.
Amazing.
I love conservation activities,
Beautiful.
environment conservation. So always planting trees, planting my own food and other things that would make me, or in short, I'm enjoying farming. That's
All
all.
right. Welcome. Thank you. All right. I can't really, you can't see me on that background. Sorry about that. Okay. Ruthie. You're on mute or we can't hear you. Okay. We might have to come back to you, Ruthie. Melbourne. Oh, there you are, Ruthie. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm
morning.
Rudy Valdez, and I'm teaching here in USTP SN. So maybe a fun fact about me is that I graduated from the Philippine High School for the Arts, and I had been performing in stage plays at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. So I think that's it.
Amazing. Nice to meet you, Ruthie. All right, Melbert.
Yes. Wait.
Hello, good morning.
So, hello, good morning, and nice to see you again, Christopher. So, yeah, so I've seen you as one of our panel and visiting professor during our teaching in Caraga State University.
Nice to see you
So
again.
good morning, everyone. So I'm Melbert. I'm from Caraga State University and currently the TBI manager of Navigato. So I am in the computing field. So I'm a graduate of computer science and at the same time having my master's in IT. But I love agriculture. So
wow.
Fun facts about me. So yeah, I really love agriculture. So since my parents are into agriculture, so but I really love the environment. So that's one of my something to explore no, in terms of entrep and also innovation. Fun facts about me is I can go karaoke or video can with you 24 hours. I really love also singing. So
wow, 24 hours. Well, nice to meet you again. Welcome. Vencil? Is it Vencil? I think she's Wenzel. Okay. Well, the reason why I ask everyone to turn on their cameras is because everything you do in life, as you know, is about relationships. And behind the relationships, guess what? It's people, right? And so when you're going through this journey as an entrepreneur, as a teacher, building these mentoring platforms, it's all about the relationships and connecting with people. It's very, 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 very important. Okay. So that's why I always try and encourage everyone to turn on their camera and to express themselves, because this is your journey. Okay. Now, today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick video about me so you know who I am. And then we're going to go through slides, but it won't be detailed because I want enough time at the end for us to have a conversation. Yeah, because this is your time to ask your questions. Now, I see Siege. Is it Siege? Nice to meet you. Thanks for turning on your camera. Do you want to introduce yourself? And then we'll continue. We'll have two more.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Hi, Sir Christopher. My name is Siege Brasileño. Actually, my full name is quite a mouthful, so I urge you guys to call me Siege. It's actually Constantino A. Brasileño Jr. So instead of calling me Constantino, please do call me Siege now. I currently work as the lead for incubation at IDEA Center of Innovation and Technopreneurship. It is the technology business incubator of MSU IIT. So glad to meet you all. And yeah, I hope to know more about everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let me share my screen right now. And I want to just show you a quick video of who I am. It's only a 1 minute one, 1 minute 42 seconds. Silicon Valley HQ. Can you see this and hear this? Can you guys hear this? Q is an online.
Yes, sir.
Business incubator, specializing in providing mentorship and access to Silicon Valley insiders who can help you pitch, finance, grow, and exit your startup. My name is Chris Peralta, and I started mentoring startups at Google Launchpad in around 2016 and went on to run my own accelerator and immersion programs with founders from over 20 countries around the world. During that time, I discovered the single most important ingredient to startup success: having the right mentor and knowing how to leverage that expertise at the right time. That's why I set up Silicon Valley HQ, because I'm a curated connector. I like to connect entrepreneurs to the right Silicon Valley experts at the right time.
I've established relationships with hundreds of tech mentors through executing deals with companies like Dropbox, Uber, Facebook, and many others. Whether you need to refine your pitch, meet angel investors, or find the right deep knowledge expert to bring your tech innovation to life, Silicon Valley HQ gives you access to proven playbooks, matter experts, webinar series, and a virtual pitch session with Silicon Valley investors that you can access from anywhere in the world. Our mission at Silicon Valley HQ is simple: to build a global startup ecosystem to help entrepreneurs all around the world start, grow, and exit their business. Go to siliconvalleyhq.com to sign up for a free 1-month subscription.
So that's just a bit of background of who I am. Let me open the slides. Okay, so this is my background. I've mentored more than 500 companies, 20 countries around the world. You saw the video. I can share that with you later on. But today, what we're going to cover is a lot of information, but we'll send the slides to you guys so you can dig deeper. I'm always just going to get a bit of the outline for each of the slides, and we can talk about it as well, just to tee up our conversations. We'll cover mentorship versus coaching, making a positive impact, creating trust with mentors and mentees, right, in the ecosystem, why you should mentor, the art of communication. We'll set expectations on, again, with all parties. We have a mentor manual. We'll ask the right questions, and we'll go through a lot of these different things throughout the next 30 minutes. Why can't I? Okay. So bit of background just to set the tonality, right? So tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. The important thing here is do, right? Learn. Like you have to actually do in order to learn and get and understand things. Mentoring to me, is very important because there are a lot of people who have already been there, done that, right? And here is a study saying 80% of mentored businesses have witnessed long-term success, growth, and business revenues, doubling their survival rate as compared to non-mentored businesses. If you can find someone that has been there, done that, latch onto them, learn from them. It's very, very important because what I always say, their hindsight, because they've done it before, could be your foresight, right? So you don't have to go through all their mistakes, right? It's good to go through mistakes, as we know, because you learn, but there is a lot of ups and downs in startups, and we'll talk about that later on. So what is mentoring? Mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor. Here it says advise and train someone. I more think about it as experiential learning, right? You want to learn from people with experience. So when you guys bring mentors into your ecosystem, find their superpowers, find what they're good at, find their expertise, right? This is very, very, very important. It's not about giving advice, and we'll talk about that later on. Mentoring is a positive, supportive relationship that encourages people to develop to their fullest potential. This is very important to know because remember, this is not your startup journey. When you are working with startups or founders or mentees, this is their journey, right? It's not yours as a mentor. This is very, very, very important because a lot of the times we think we know the answers to their problems. The thing is we don't, and they have to figure it out themselves. As a mentor, what we need to do is guide them, We're an extension arm of their team. Yeah. And remember, this is their journey. If they fail, it's not because you told them to do this and they failed, but it's because they did this themselves, they failed, but then they'll get back up and they'll succeed in the future. It's all a learning experience, but it's their journey. And we are there to help them and support them and with their journey and in a positive way. Key aspects of mentoring, again, I mentioned earlier, relationships. And in mentoring, it has to be voluntary on both sides, right? And we need to, you guys are important as the matchmakers. You're going to be matchmaking their a mentee to a mentor based on the mentee's needs. A lot of the times, mentoring versus coaching, mentors don't get paid, right? And so we need to find out what the motivations are for them to be there. And we'll talk about that later. So what is the difference? We talk about mentoring, business mentoring and coaching. What is the difference? So in the entrepreneur world, mentors act as advisors, experiential learning, as I mentioned. Mentors are successful people who share their wisdom based on what they've executed, right? And give them insights on challenges they've actually faced along their startup journey or their business journey. Coaches, on the other hand, are typically ones that have the same expertise or in the same industry, and you pretty much pay for them, right, for that expertise. So they come, at it with, they typically have a process, they anticipate things, they're very structured in nature, and we'll talk about that again as well in our activity. So why is mentoring important? This is according to George Lucas. Mentors have a way of seeing more of our faults that we would like. It's the only way we grow. So a lot of the times, because we are so absorbed with our startup, we tend to not see what's happening with our startup, because we live and breathe it every day and we drink our own Kool-Aid, right? And so everyone in our team, we're all like going, yeah, everything's great, because we're drinking our Kool-Aid. Sometimes it's actually good to get someone outside of your company to look outside in, right? And not necessarily faults. You should also highlight wins. Yeah, a lot of the times, and I had a strategy session with one of my companies yesterday, and all of it was negative. It was always about faults. We also should celebrate our wins, whether they're small or big, it doesn't matter. Mentors can see where we need to improve, where we often cannot. We talked about that just then. Mentors find ways to stimulate our personal and professional growth. This is very interesting because when I approach business, it's business, right? The problem is we are humans and we also have feelings and emotions. And so you'll always have the personal side come in to your business environment. This is something you have to deal with, which is quite interesting, right? But that's a bit deeper, but you need to find ways to stimulate your personal and professional growth, not just on the professional side, but you as a founder, right? So when the mentees come in, they may not know everything and they're looking for you for support, right? So on the personal side as well, I tell startups that sometimes you can approach it in two ways. You can create thought leadership about what you're doing in the company and build that. But there's always the founder CEO. You also should create thought leadership in the market as well, right? So it's personal and professional. Mentors offer encouragement and keep us going. Startups is hard. You have so many downs more than ups. And it's often hard that it's just too hard. So having that positive encouragement, teaching, learning, connecting, this is really, really important. Oprah Winfrey, a mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. And I think this is important as well about, and it's the key word is you, right? Again, the startup, there's founders, there's people, and this is their journey. And you really need to find out, what the challenges are for them as well. So get deep in and personal with the mentees when they come into your ecosystem. Being an entrepreneur can be challenging. We talk about this. A good mentor will teach their mentees good work habits and will provide, boundaries for them to work within. Mentors are sounding boards. Yeah, this is really important. Again, a lot of the times we drink our own Kool-Aid. We have our, our own expertise and what we know as a team internally. Sometimes it's good to have someone outside with different expertise, with different perspectives, and they're just sounding boards as well. And you can bounce ideas off them, right? What's important though, I try and be as honest as possible, right? It won't help them if you lie to them, right? If you believe, okay, this doesn't seem like it's working, maybe change it into a question rather than anything else. But, and ask them, look, what can you do better? Why don't you go out there and talk to your customers? Give them suggestions or challenge and ask questions. I remember mentoring 7 years ago students in Philippines, and one of them was saying, oh yeah, they're presenting their deck and talking about their e-commerce model, right? This SaaS platform for retailers, right? For shops. And they're saying, oh, we're going to charge this and they're going to pay this. And here's the model and here's the forecast. And I'm like, okay, have you spoken to retailers? And they're like, no. Well, okay, you can leave now, go outside, talk to some retailers. Why you can validate, you've got the access to your questions here, right, on your business model. And you can validate your assumptions by just talking to retailers, that are outside of the school, right? So this is very important. Mentors will then help assess which ones have potential and why others are better left alone. It's based on their expertise or what they've learned. And mentors can be connectors. So whenever every relationship is important, everyone, I mean everyone, has a superpower. Yeah. And everyone knows someone. Okay. And again, also, we just have to, treat people all kindly, right? But here, mentors can be connectors. So even though you don't get anything out of their mentoring session, they can potentially connect you to other mentors or other investors or whatever is needed to help with one of your mentees' problems. Mentors have the experiences you can learn from to prevent making the same mistakes beginners make. We talked about that. Their hindsight is your foresight. Mentors are usually free. Okay, in Philippines, yes, but if you can have a model where you can pay them or figure out what their motivations are, because there are a few things that I've learned with my mentors, and I have 150 mentors on my platform, and I've run hundreds of programs, mentoring programs at Google, Facebook, everywhere. And I don't think anyone's ever run a mentoring program at Facebook. But anyway, well, they're called Meta now. But usually you have to find out what their motivations are to incentivize them to be a mentor. So one, they might want to be paid. And if you don't have money, you don't have money. Two, they might want to give back, right? They just want to help young entrepreneurs. 3, they may want to be connected to innovative ideas. 4, they might want to be an advisor to startups. There's many different motivations. So you need to find out what each mentor's motivations are so that you can encourage them to be part of your ecosystem. Mentoring relationship, if appropriate, can have huge benefits for all parties. This is a no-brainer. So you need to really find the win-win-win situation. And this is for everyone. And again, remember, you're building an ecosystem, right? And you don't have one customer. Everyone's your customer. And everyone is a relationship, right? So mentees, you're helping them. Mentors, you're helping them. Other partners, sponsors, you're helping them. Your peers, you're helping them. You have to create an ecosystem where you can help everyone in the ecosystem, right? Here we look at about your organization and the mentors and the mentees. So, oh yeah, these are motivations. So some mentors may want to give back, or they want to just feel young. They may want to invest in companies or acquire, or they just want to be part of, like, put on their LinkedIn that they mentored, or they be part of your institution or your ecosystem. Obviously, for the mentees, they want to meet experienced leaders, open up doors or opportunities, absolutely build your network. And obviously, and I think Casimir mentioned, get that ROI. So, you know, get that success and make it into a real business, and maybe even get investment along the way if you get the traction. So you want everyone to be win-win-win. So mentoring relationships are not for everyone, and they may also not be appropriate for every stage of one's career. So yeah, look, for mentees, sometimes, you know, I think it's all about timing, you know, finding the right mentor at the right time, as per my video. But also when you're looking and scouting for mentors, sometimes they may not be a good mentor. And I've had that a lot, where they're so smart, but they just don't have the interpersonal skills, or they can't communicate well. And then the mentee doesn't know what they're talking about, you know? So sometimes not everyone can be a mentor, right? Even though they have so much skills. One way around that as well, maybe, is your matchmaking, right? So maybe if you have a mentor that's not really good at communicating, but he's the best AI developer, right? I've got Roger in my platform who used to run AI at Snapchat, right? Now, just imagine Roger couldn't communicate that well. But I find I have a company or a mentee that really wants to know about AI. They're ready to talk to someone like Roger at his caliber. You know, then you can have a one-on-one curated mentoring approach, right? And then it's like, there's one focus here. This company or this mentee has these questions around AI. They're stuck. They really need your help. I'd go to Roger. Roger, this is an amazing company. They're doing X to help Y, and they are stuck with this AI problem. Is there any guidance here, or can we have a mentoring session, right? So it's matchmaking. There is actually work for you guys as that enabler to make sure that these are quality engagements and that are valuable. What you don't want to happen is these mentoring sessions are just talking about COVID or talking about sport or something like that, and you're not getting to the root cause. What I typically ask for mentees is, what are your top 3 issues you need support with? But you also have to be ready for your mentoring session, right? So I actually have a platform that makes sure that you're ready. we give them templates as well. If the mentor sees they haven't filled out this template, then they're not going to have the mentoring session. You have to be ready. You have to be respectful for everyone's time on both sides of the fence. Yeah. I'm going to pause for 1 minute because there's a lot of information I just mentioned, and I just want to see if you guys are still alive. Any questions so far? And there's no dumb questions because I ask a lot of dumb questions. Remember, guys, this is a safe space for everyone. And this is for you. This is your time. This is your time. This is your ecosystem. So tell me, any questions? None so far. Wow, you guys can teach me next time then. Okay, nothing so far. Okay, here we do have one. Can you give us tips on how to connect the right mentors with our incubatees? Sorry about that. That was a mouthful. So Samantha, where is Samantha? Samantha, you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Samantha. So are you having this problem right now, or are you mentoring? Do you have mentees at the moment?
Actually, sir,
question.
in our EBI, we conduct free mentorship, and
Okay.
we are kind of having a hard time in finding the right mentor for an incubative. So we would like to ask some tips on how can we assess the right mentor for a specific startup founder.
Okay. So I'll give you a very basic tip, I guess, from me based on experience. Yeah. So the first thing is the mentees that you're incubating, they need to be prepared, right? So I don't know what templates you give them. And this is the typical startup templates. And I have tons of them. You can grab them from my platform. Your one pager, your pitch deck, your forecast, and all this good stuff, right? So they need to be prepared. Yeah. Lean canvas, you know, all this stuff, business model, everything, right? So once they've got all their ducks in order, you ask the mentees, what are your top 3 issues right now? Yeah, top 3. And then when they give it to you, you ask them questions. Yeah. So if they say, I can't raise money, then you ask, show me your investor deck, show me your forecast, where's your traction? Like, you'll ask questions. Or let's have a simple one. What is my business model? Yeah. So then you can find someone, if it's very specific, a finance mentor that understands business model, or someone that's been in a startup that was a CFO that has put together business models for that company. So you find the right mentors. So if you have a pool of mentors and you have specific expertise from the different mentors, then you can be able to match accordingly. Now, I know I've been doing it for 7 years and I've done hundreds of programs. So all my 150 mentors, I know them very, very well. So if you needed someone for forecasts, I have 3 people already I can introduce you to. And I know they will help you, but depending upon which stage. I have a mentor. If you're raising $5 to $50 million, he can help you with your forecast and your business model. Then I have a forecast mentor that can help you if you haven't raised money before and can help you in the early stage. So I already know which mentors, and I know how they've mentored before as well. I always participate in those sessions, you know, so that's a bit more advanced, but to simplify, make sure that they're ready, ask them the top 3 issues, and have a pool of mentors, understand their expertise, and then do the matchmaking. Does that help, Samantha?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, or else we'll move on?
I actually chatted in the chat box. So it's more on this is really one of our challenge in navigating. So aside from it's a good to hear about the tips. So good thing that we record also this video. But this is one for me. It's more on the framework of coming up with a pool of mentor. So it's first is how about encourage people to be a mentor? So in the Philippines, so people are busy, in their either individual work or life, and it's a good thing that I also mentioned that we need not to waste their time because their time is precious. So how can we encourage them not to be on board, and not only be on board but also committed and also align with our meaning our perspective on what we are pushing in the university or in our region? Or how did you start, or should I say method in inviting good mentor? Did you compensate your mentors? If not, and how did you sell your concept to them? So
Great
parang ang
question.
dami.
No, this is valid. This is and I think it's good for everyone here. So firstly, and it's not going to help you, but all the mentors on my platform are all my friends. The great thing in Silicon Valley is when you're here, there's so many smart people here, and they're all your friends. And they've been there, done that. So a lot of them are my friends. Now, how I got them to come to my programs. Firstly, preparation, right? They knew our course, they knew the companies, and it's very professional. So when I ask them to come, they will get a one-pager, they'll have an overview. I already know what the mentee is actually looking for. So when I talk to my mentor, I'll say, hey, buddy, again, hey, Roger, this company is, very early stage, but they're passionate mentees, and they would love your experience, right? And so they already know, and then they might say, okay, I don't have an hour. No problem. 15 minutes is fine, because you want to get them into your ecosystem. Yeah. But again, there's a lot of heavy lifting for you, Melvin, right? You're preparing the mentees, you're teeing up the mentors, and it's relationships on both sides. Remember, it's all about relationships. Okay. You want the mentees to look at you as like, wow, you're going to help me. You want the mentor to say, this guy's professional, and I'm going to talk to a lot of amazing companies, and they've got a great program, etc. Okay. So there's a lot of work that you need to do as that facilitator. Yeah. So preparation, teeing it up. Secondly, one thing that could be very simple for all of you guys is approach your alumni. All the people that have graduated from your colleges, universities, and others, reach out to them. And they would love to give back to the community. Yeah. So your alumni network would be huge first step to get quality mentors. Okay. The third that I also dangled is because I was associated with Google Launchpad and I was one of the first mentors. I was very fortunate. I would get a lot of swag. And people love Google swag. But maybe it could be simple swag from your university or college, right? A simple pen, a mug, certificate, Like it's the whole thing, right? Make them feel special so they'll come back. And so if they know that, you know, this was amazing experience for them, they'll come back as mentors. Okay. And then they'll talk to other mentors in their network. You know, you want that feeling. Like hopefully with all my programs, you know, everyone's like, yeah, it's great. And a lot of, okay, your other question, I never paid my mentors in the beginning because I was helping Filipino startups. So actually I started a company called Manila Valley, and I was mentoring Filipino companies, and I would invest in the companies and bring them to Silicon Valley for acceleration. And my mentors would not charge me because I couldn't afford to pay them. But I brought a lot of Filipino experts from US first, and then it expanded, and everyone wanted to help because they saw I was at Google Launchpad and everything, and it just became bigger and bigger. 20 countries I helped. So you'll figure it out in the beginning, but if you're prepared, do your alumni, and then think of some cool stuff, or just make them feel like they you know, make them feel loved, build an experience. Cool. Okay.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Chris, for that input. Really clarifies everything. So we'll just review. Yeah.
And remember, look, this is from my experience. Okay, this is important. It may not work for you, but you'll figure it out. Figure out what works best for you and your ecosystem. Yeah. Cool. All right. So Miriam, last question, and I'll continue. All right, Miriam, you had a question? Okay. Miriam said, can you share with us a reference guide on what you've mentioned about identifying the mentor's readiness? Miriam, can you clarify that, please? Mentor's readiness. Hi, Miriam.
Good morning. So you've mentioned earlier about that you're allowing your mentors to just have a self checklist on the things if they're really into mentorship, because you've said that not everyone is a mentor. So how do you do this, or is there sort of a guide that you do, or can you share with us? Thank you.
Well, I think, Miriam, I think there's two questions there, and please confirm if I'm wrong. The first one is the mentee's readiness for a mentoring session. Is that correct? And then the second question is verifying whether a mentor is actually going to be a good mentor. Are those the two questions?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, in terms of mentee readiness, just say that I said, hi, Miriam, can you help me with my startup? I'm stuck. And then there's no information. We have a session, and all I talk about the whole time is what I'm doing, and you don't understand anything what I'm doing. And, you know, you just waste an hour's time. And it happens a lot, right? Now, imagine instead I say, hi, Miriam, here is my one pager. Here is my business canvas. Here is my forecast. I'm having trouble finding the right product market fit. We've approached it with this startups, with these audience. We've done Facebook ads. This is what our results. So you're starting to get more details, right? Then when it comes to the mentor will be able to then know, because they have all the details. Yeah. So the first scenario, they're not ready. They're just giving basic information. You need a bit more depth, right? because then you'll give value to the session, right? So if I say, I need to have product market, I'm trying to validate product market fit. I don't know who my audience is. This is the business model. Can you help me nail it down? So it's very specific in terms of what I need. Yeah. So that's my recommendation on making sure the mentee is ready for the session. Okay. The second question, you said not everyone is a mentor. Oh, I said that. Sometimes, as I mentioned, some people are just not good at mentoring, and that's okay. That's okay. So you need to find ones that are effective. And the ways of doing that is I always have a survey on both sides after a mentoring session. You get the survey from the mentee and you ask them questions. You can do a basic Google form, and were they effective? What was the next steps? What did they recommend? You can ask whatever questions you want with the mentee. And then the survey for the mentor, you can ask the same types of questions. Were they ready? What did you advise them? Was it a valuable session? Things like that. So then you can evaluate your mentors as well, and you evaluate your mentees to see if they were actually ready. So then you'll start to learn the whole process. Did that help, Miriam?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, let's get back to the slide. Sorry about this. All right, so the benefits of mentoring. Being encouraged and empowered in personal development, that this is important. Again, you're working with humans. So there is a personal aspect. Empower them, encourage them, but through learning, teaching them, connecting them, these things, that's how you empower them. Being helped to identify and achieve career goals. A lot of the times we don't set goals and targets. At Google, they have what they call KPIs, key performance indicators. So this is important because if you don't have goals in mind, then you won't know what you really, you're not striving towards something. And then a lot of the times there is a lot of shiny objects and you get pulled in different directions. And then you might branch off away from what your goals are. So what's important is you should always set goals. I typically do 3 years, then I go back to 1 year, then 6 months, 3 months, every month, then every week, right? So then you know what you need to achieve to get to your goals. So at the end of the day, in 3 years, if I want to build a water filtration system build a solar paneled system for my crops, right? It will take me 3 years to build. And then in 1 year, I need to get the machinery, or in 6 months, I need to get the funding. And every month I need to put together the plan, build a team, whatever it may be. But you go from your 3-year projection, where you want to be, and then you break it down to every week what needs to be done in order to achieve the goal. And so you don't deviate away. It may evolve, but it's always important as a team for the mentees to create goals. Yeah. And mentors can help with that as well. Being helped to identify and correct gaps in skills and knowledge. A lot of the times with startups, you partner with your founders who are friends, and it doesn't work out that way. Yes, you want to work with people that you can ride, this is a long journey, that you can ride in a car, contained in a car, and you'll enjoy their companionship. If you can't, it's going to be very hard for you in the future if you're working closely with them every day, right? And it's important to identify, instead of friends working with, but each person's skills and knowledge, because you're going to be working as a team. You typically will start a business. One will be the business guy, one will be the tech guy, one will be the marketing, just as a basic example, right? So everyone has a skill to contribute to the business, yeah? So it's important to identify them in the team. At mentoring, it's important to obviously increase the confidence of the startup. And it's always good to have a broader perspective. Challenge them, ask them questions, give them options, direct them to certain places, like go outside and talk to your customers. Do focus groups, go to the university and ask people, do a focus group. You have all these students that you can ask, challenge them, right? Give them different perspectives, not just the typical academic approach. Increase productivity and better time management. Yeah, we all know this. The most important asset is time. And what we, as founders, we want to do everything. So try to encourage your mentees to simplify, create targets and achieve them and manage their time, okay? Again, we talk about relationships. This is all about relationships. So it's important to always meet people with different expertise. The more you meet, the more you'll be able to get experience from others that you may not know. So networking is very, very important. I think we ran through this: potential networking, investment, staff development. Yeah, and it's always good to reflect on how you're progressing and have a look at, are you achieving these goals? And if you haven't, why not? Do you need help, right? What help do you need? What expertise do you need? These are the things you ask the mentees, and then so you can easily find the right mentors that you can bring in, yeah? So it's important to sit down with your mentees, and ask questions. Whenever I have a mentoring session, the first literally 15 minutes, I will ask questions to the mentees or the founders. I will ask them, what's your mission? When did you start the company? Who's in the team? What's the problem you're solving? What's the solution? What's your differentiation? What's your business model? What's your forecast? Blah, 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 right? So I find out a lot from the mentees. And I think it's important for you guys to do that as well. When you're supporting your incubatees or your mentees, you have to understand where they are. Because then when you go to a mentor and say, hey, this incubatee needs help, you'll know. And so this will be very valuable. And the mentor will appreciate that, because you actually know that what the startup needs, and you're vetting and validating that this session is very, very important and needed. Yeah. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, po.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. I don't like talking a lot. I'd love to hear more about you guys. So I think we're nearly finished with the slides. I know there's a lot here. Career rejuvenation, personal fulfillment. I think we've gone through a few of these things. Okay, beautiful. All right. Activity. We love activities. All right. So I put this here because I think it's good to look at the differences between coaching and mentoring. I know we covered this earlier, but based on these different topics, and please add your feedback here, if anything. So time frame. So typically with coaching, sorry guys, if you can mute if you're not talking or asking a question, that would be great. So for coaching, you know, it's typically short term. Mentoring, yeah, they would love you there long term, and you might become an advisor in the future. The focus for coaching, it's immediate results. They want immediate results. That's why they're paying professionals. Mentoring, it's a bit more longer term and development driven. So not really hard targets, but soft, what they call soft targets, where it's about development, and you're an extension arm of their team, right? And so you're just helping them achieve goals as a team member. Structure, coaching is a bit more structured. Mentoring, yeah, a bit more informal, but I always like structure. I think it's important to have a bit of structure with mentoring so that it's valuable for everyone. Again, time is your most important asset for everyone, right? Mentees, mentors, whoever it is. Expertise, coaches are hired for their expertise in a given area. I think it's the same. You know, they have expertise at seniority for mentors. Agenda, the coach would co-create it with the coachee. On the mentoring side, it's set by the mentee. Yeah, it's typically the mentee saying, these are my issues, and this is where I need support, this is where I need help. So it's typically coming from the mentee, the mentor's there to support them. Questioning, asking about thought-provoking questions. You know, this is very important. And we mentioned this in the beginning. You should always ask questions. You always should find out more about the companies that you're supporting, or the incubatees or mentees. And you should always ask thought-provoking questions, right? Which makes them, and I think this is also with mentoring, you know, so that they have to think about it, right? Let them do. They're the ones that have to do, not you. You're just there to support and based on your experience, but they're the ones doing. In mentoring, the mentee is more likely to ask more questions. It goes both ways. Mentors should also ask a lot of questions. And you guys should ask a lot of questions as well. The outcome from a coaching agreement is specific and measurable. And then an outcome on this relation can shift and change because the mentor is not always there. It really depends on your program and how you can make sure that those mentors are there for long term. I've got a program that I was running previously where you can have a mentor for a month. So they will check in with you on a Monday, on a Friday, every week for a month. And, you know, that was good because, you know, they're checking your milestones and seeing if you're delivering. And, you know, 1 month is not that much, but if you have specific goals in mind for a month, then it might work out really nicely. Okay, so how did the Academy of Entrepreneurs create our mentoring program? So they did a lot of research, right? A lot of market research, and approach, you know, the mentors, and, you know, from an admiration standpoint, right? And again, we want them to feel loved, right? But you need to be prepared, right? Focus groups, you know, asking more about, you know, you want to know more, you want more insights from a lot more people. Building a community, we talk about it's your ecosystem, right? So you want people to come and join your community. You want this bigger because then you'll find more mentors and help your program be more successful. Benefits, new ideas, and LinkedIn invest pitch. Okay, lessons learned. We're nearly done, guys. I know it's 65 slides here. So we'll go through this really fast. But they create, Academy of Entrepreneurs created a very simple automated booking system. So you can ask for mentoring sessions. You have to make everyone feel special. And one of my mentors here in Silicon Valley always says, you have to give before you get. Teach before you want to be taught. Give insights, help others, and then, it'll come back to you tenfold. Particularly in Silicon Valley. And I know Philippines is a nice ecosystem where there's a lot of people that want to help, right? Particularly the young entrepreneurs and students. Promise your mentees respect, transparency, and trust, and be clear that you expect the same from them. Absolutely. The key is you expect the same from them, right? It goes both ways, and even with mentors. This is also important because sometimes, we talked about it earlier, sometimes you have mentors and you have to match, you guys are the matchmakers. Some might be very good at early stage, but won't have any idea about later stage companies, right? To the 2 million, 10 million users or revenues, whatever. But their sweet spot might be earlier. So you need to find out the relevance of the mentor's expertise. So where to start to find mentors? I think we had a question earlier. Where did we have this? All right, so it's about creating thought leadership about your program and what you guys are doing. And also, again, the preparation. What is your program? How many incubatees do you have? Who were the past ones? So they can see previously, like show them what your program's all about, and they can see it online as well. Blogs, create thought leadership, showcase the mentoring sessions, like pictures, or just, create a vibe in terms of, this is amazing how you've got these companies that are innovating, and we really need your help to come and mentor, right? Create some thought leadership. Make sure it's on your page. It's very clear what your aim is, what is it for, and also, like, document some success stories, testimonials, and so they want to be part of it, right? Video is very important. Testimonials, showcase. You saw my video. I've got tons of video footage of me mentoring, my mentors mentoring, me on stage, startups pitching, everything. I've got tons of footage. And so people can feel that. And I'll get your feedback as well, what you think about my video. But did you like it, right? You want people to like it, feel it, and want to have a call to action to be part of your ecosystem. Recommendation process. I'm not too sure about this. LinkedIn. Okay, let me ask a question to you guys. This is actually quite good. What does your institution incubator expect from its mentors? Let's ask some questions to you guys. What does your institution incubator expect from its mentors? So you can unmute and answer, or you can put it in the chat.
Okay, so maybe I could share first, Christopher. So,
Please.
yeah, for us in Navigato, aside from, I think it's already given that we expect from our mentors, aside from the knowledge and also the expertise to be shared or extend to our incubatees, we are also expecting the same passion since in Navigato, no, as of now, so it's 100%, no, it's more on helping in pushing and also inculcating entrepreneurship to our students. So we're expecting that they are, you know, aside from expertise, so the same passion that that we want, no, our students to thrive and also to be successful with it, with their business concept. And at the same time, so we are also looking forward that with what we do and also our endeavor, no, in helping the students, no, our mentor also seek also to invest to our teams and also to the students. So I think that's it from
Okay.
Navigat.
Great, thanks for sharing. Okay, to help mentees learn how to learn. Anyone else? You guys are a very quiet bunch. I only see 2 faces. Is everyone still there?
Maybe they are still absorbing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to go straight to Q&A. We have 17 minutes. Yeah, 17 minutes. So questions. I can keep talking, but I'd rather hear from you guys. Well, any questions, any challenges? Have you started the process? You know, in 2015, I did a mentoring program for a couple of universities there in Philippines. I set up some mentors locally on the ground, and then I set up mentors, Filipino Americans in here in Silicon Valley. And I was helping, trying to connect. It was a tough process, really tough, trying to find experts. And this is 2015, right? But everyone wanted to give back, right? So it was just really me finding the time to create this program. So I believe there's a lot of experience in Philippines. There's a lot of people that want to give back. So you guys have an opportunity. Okay, Riddell, sorry.
Okay, sir. My question is, as I am reading the comparison versus the coaching and mentoring, my question is, can we mix it? Because for my experience, I am dealing more in rural people, most likely farmers. And sometimes, yeah, maybe I can say that I do mentoring to them. However, when I see some of the differences between mentoring and coaching, I also, in some point, coaching them. So my question is, can we mix that mentoring and coaching, especially in my case, that I do it informally? Sir?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, you can do whatever you want. This is your program, Riddell. You want to create a program that works for you and your incubatees, and period. Right? So if coaching and mentoring, you need them both and it works, achieves your goals, the mentees' goals, the mentors' goals, absolutely, or the coachees' goals. You can do whatever you want. Now, agriculture in the Philippines was 10% of GDP, right? Or no, hold on. Yeah, I think gross domestic product was 10% of GDP, right? Agriculture is huge there. And technology is an important component of that, and making farming sustainable, you know, good for the environment, blah, et cetera, So, and I remember seeing an agricultural study from the Philippines like a couple of years ago, which was really great, a study from the government, right? So these are the types of things where you can build thought leadership. If that's your focus area, or if that's where a lot of your incubatees are focusing on, then you guys need to learn more about the space, educate about what's happening in the space, and then find out around the world, even in Philippines and around the world, what are the technologies that are making this whole process better? Because that's important, right? So I'm not too sure, but you know, there are companies that have technology, drones, to analyze crops, to analyze the healthiness and things like that. Showcase that to your incubatees, showcase that to your mentors. Connect them, bring those guys that are doing those technology to your mentors, invite them, find out who those leaders are, right? So then you started suddenly having, and this could be an approach, having a focus area where you guys have a very focused expertise. But by the way, we also support all other verticals. We're just really good at agri-tech, yeah? And so all of a sudden you have very clear messaging to everyone, your incubatees, your mentors, your coaches, and then they will go, wow, this is fantastic. So you're known for something, right? One thing, but obviously you're more than just one thing. Does that make sense as well?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Okay, we had another question. Melbourne.
Yeah, actually, it's about the process that you have discussed earlier on how we can build our pool of mentors. So first is we have the team assessment, and you've shared that you use the different methods in terms of after the team assessment. So you do team preparation using lean canvas, pitch deck. You have one pager, we have DMC, then try to ask their top 3 challenges. So I actually note the whole process, but my question would be from the different methods for the preparation of the teams. So based on your experience, so what would be the best, or what would be the most effective way of method to use among lean canvas, pitch deck, one pager, na mas effective for the students to be prepared? So
firstly,
yeah.
Firstly, you have access to all my templates. So if you just go to siliconvalleyhq.com, download them, go for it, sign up, it's free. So download the template. I'm not saying these are the perfect templates, because there's tons of templates online, but at least it's a starting point, right? And these are the basic templates, right? And so first of all, make sure that the companies, your incubatees, know what they're doing, right? Know their mission, their business model, their customers, their go-to-market strategy, and everything like that, right? They have to be prepared, yeah? 2, challenge them. Get them out there as much as you can. And if they can't go out there, everything's remote these days. You can do focus groups online, right? You can just invite random people. You can do Facebook groups. You can create social media followers and ask them questions, incentivize them, get feedback from your real customers or potential customers, do focus groups. So you can challenge a lot of your incubatees to do all that, right? Get them ready, right? Get them ready. Now, once they're ready, secondly, if you also have a very clear program, so when you invite anyone into your ecosystem, they can see clearly what you guys are doing, right? And they've seen in the past, you know, the events that you've done, the mentoring sessions and all this stuff, they can see that it actually is a program. So when you start to do outreach to mentors, and again, this could be as easy as if you have a vertical or if you have different incubatees in different verticals, find out all the innovators in Philippines and invite them to come and mentor. But again, when you are matchmaking, the most important thing is, remember, everyone's time. And so if you are very focused and you find, for instance, here is your incubatee that is designing this amazing next generation drone that can not only analyze the crops, its healthiness, but can also, I don't know, do something else. But then you go to that drone company and say, look, this is what they're doing, and this is their differentiation, but they really need help with this. Then it's very specific and tailored. And that matchmaking, how can that mentor say no? You know, it's very focused, right? You're going deep, and then they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing innovation. I'd love to talk to them. So all of a sudden, instead of asking them, you know, you've just told them about a company, what they're doing, and then the mentor is the one that actually wants to come and talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, you flip the switch, and this is where there's a lot of pieces to this. But if you guys, you can create your own ecosystem where, you know, people can come, like mentors. You can really build a strong mentor pool.
Yep. So as I get from your what you've shared, Christopher. So preparation is not really mean about filling up those templates, but it's about the preparation done by the incubation program in terms of mission. I mean, helping our incubatees to identify or to be clear about their mission, to be clear about their problem, and not only be clear, but really explore on that problem and finding the root and all the opportunities with that problem. Then identify their solution, then their market, then go to market strategy, then you have the traction before the template. So that's what you mean by the preparation. Thank you so much, Christopher, for that input.
Any other questions? Oh yeah, Siege.
Hi, Sir Christopher. I just
Hi.
I just have a question. Based on my practical experience, also in gathering mentors, as well as creating your own mentor pool, that is also related to your incubation program. I think sometimes, we have um, there's such a thing, no, we have too much mentors, no. So yeah, that, for example, you have a lot of mentors, but then one startup has multiple mentors. When is mentoring too much, no? Or when is mentoring not enough, most especially for like startups, no? Because sometimes we can see that there's a detriment, most especially when a startup is trying to navigate, their goals and their strategies. So sometimes, an influence of an expert in that field can also be hard. I've seen it in some startups, that they suddenly pivot and shift, from one point to another. And yeah, maybe you can shed light and give us an experience on how to craft like a good mentorship program where it can really fit with the needs of the startups, no, and also fit on what types of needs. Maybe some practical tips first. Would that be okay?
Yeah, look, this is an amazing question, right? Because imagine all of us here today, there's 41 of us, right? If we ask one question, maybe something simple like, what is your favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe, right? And then we all write out the recipe. Is it all going to be the same? No. Some might put it in the fridge overnight. Some might use flour, rice flour, you know, whatever it may be. There's a lot of nuances and differences. And the problem with mentoring, like you said, sometimes it's overwhelming for the mentees. They get too much information, or sometimes mentors will tell them what to do and it's incorrect. But, you know, there's a lot of challenges. So I think the first thing is you really need to prepare your mentors as well. Train your mentors. And I always train them by saying, look, you're not there to give advice. Even though it says it there, you're there to teach from your experience, right? And ask questions, you know, because they need to discover it. What's the right path? It's really important because, you know, we give so much advice, and if they talk to 5 mentors, there'll be 5 potential different directions, and it's confusing, right? So a lot of the times I make sure our mentors try not to give advice, ask a lot of questions, challenge them, make it thought-provoking, and just teach them based on your experience. So that's the first thing, right? Secondly, I always tell the mentees that it's their startup. At the end of the day, you'll get all this information, you be a sponge, and then you'll figure out what works for your business. You and your team will figure it out. Not your mentor, not the university, you'll figure out what's best for your company, right? But just be a sponge. It's okay to be a sponge. You'll get a lot of different feedback, right? But they'll also have to do their own research as well. I'm always on Google. You know, just now I was looking up at agri-tech in Philippines. You can easily get information, right? So just challenge the companies, tell them that they're a sponge, and they decide what's best for them. But yeah, that's all I could say, because it's a tough one. It's a real tough one. And then at the end of the day, Siege, you'll figure out what works for your incubatees, for your organization, and for your mentors. You'll have to figure it out.
Right. Thank you, Sir Chris. Just a quick follow up. I guess for us now, being a university-based incubator, I mean, I think CSU and as well as USTP also has this. We have a lot of a huge pool of potential mentors now, from experts subject matters like engineering, etc., and AI. But the problem is there's a gap between how we can engage them into yung what we call as like yung startup na thought process. No? Practically, when we talk about inventors, we talk about, like, for example, even business people. No? It's kind of different, no? When we talk about technopreneurship, because it's a faster pace, no? It's kind of a different pace, no? So what can you what would be your advice, no, on how incubators or like programs like us, no, help out potential mentors to become part as mentors of the programs that deliver yung startup or those kinds of entrepreneurship?
I didn't get it. Can you just repeat it just clearly?
Yeah. What would be your advice, no, for incubators or like for program developers, no, for us to develop or get these potential faculties, or for example, for these potential na subject matter experts to become part of our program, no, that deals with startups and with innovation. How would you best, what would be, in your experience, no, a good approach for us to do, most especially for this stuff?
I think I mentioned earlier, I think one is You have a very clear program that people can see. They see testimonials, other companies that, or sorry, incubatees that have gone through it. There's testimonials. They see that there's something there, right? That you guys are doing, you know, helping the incubatees, right? So that's the first thing. It's very clear. Secondly, you have to prepare for that discussion with the mentor, because you can't just say, hey, can you be a mentor in our incubator? Be more specific, right? If you say, I love your expertise in the AI machine learning space when you were at Snapchat, we have a few companies that are in that space that really want to learn from you. And then it becomes personal. Again, you're talking to people. These are relationships on both sides. Yeah. So if you approach it in that way, they see you've got a program, you've actually thought about why you need my help, right? And also you're very precise. We only need 15 minutes. These are the top 3 issues. These are the questions that they have. Do you have 15 minutes? They can't say no to it.
So like an established mentorship program, sir, right?
But if they look on your website later on and say, oh, Siege, you don't have anything going on. And then, or 2, they're like, dude, I have no time. You asking me to help mentor what? What am I going to say? What are we talking about? It's just frustrating for them. So the more preparation,
something structured.
The more preparation, the more you know both sides, and some may just say, yeah, no problem. I've got mentors is like, just call them and they'll come, right? And you don't even have to say anything. So you have to understand who your mentors are, right? And you'll figure it out. The ones that need that, the ones that don't, you know. But it's always good to know exactly. You're the matchmaker.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I think for us now, just to share also a little bit on the experience of also finding mentors. I mean, with a incubator that's really industry and stage agnostic, it can be burdensome because the level of startups can differ from one thing to another, and some tech might be a little bit fringe or very niche per se. That's why it might be a little bit hard to find very technical experts, but I think, yeah, I agree. I think a very structured format of a mentorship program, because I think most mentorship programs, no, I think most of mentorship programs that we've handled also is kind of open structured. So there's no time frame or timetable, just constant talking, like something like that.
I wouldn't say very structured. There is some structure, but there's human contact, right?
I see.
You have to have that human contact, yeah? Before, Riddell, we come back to you, and if there's any other questions, I know we're over time, but I'm happy to stay for another 10 minutes before my next call. But before we do that, I am Filipino, just like you guys. So I wanted to do a selfie with all you guys. So if everyone can turn on their camera, please. And then we'll do a selfie. See, now everyone turns their camera on with a selfie. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Everyone's come up. Everyone's alive. Okay. Got a few more. Marlon. We have 2 pages here. So everyone turn on their camera. So the first page, we're going to do a selfie. All right. And in 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me just save that. And then the second group. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, beautiful. All right, so I can stay for another 10 minutes if there is any other questions. I'd love to hear from other people because I know you might have questions as well. But since Riddell, you're already there, please, Riddell.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. This is in relation to what Sir Melbert and Sir Sid is talking, that there is something missing in relation to this mentee and mentor. So I guess what can I say is maybe we can go back to the concept of extension, that we need to know first what is the need of our mentees. Since
Absolutely.
according to Sir Sets that they have already a lot of mentors, however, they are some quite mismatched to the mentees.
Yep.
So this is the problem not only in the other university, but also in Nicaragua State University. We have with Sir Melbert before, but again, we need to have an assessment first. No? Because though we belong to the same university, we only that close with Sir Melbert when I attend the entrepreneurship program then. So
Yeah.
what I have seen in this particular issue is they have a lot of mentors, they have a lot of experts. However, they don't know yet how to go down to the incubatees, and only those maybe who have this, what I mean, guts to be in there. That's the only people, or that's the only incubatees that they will act to. So maybe siguro these incubatees will go down to know what are the needs of this particular incubatees, and they will match them to their roster or to their pool of expert. So not only in this particular endeavor, but same too in other activities that I am participating, that most likely there are a lot of mismatch. What I am saying is maybe you have a headache, but they will give you a medicine for stomach ache or for something else. So the best things that that I am trying to connect in here is maybe this particular experts will converge each other. They know their superpowers. Then they will try to match it with the need of the incubator. Siguro, Sir Merbert, we have already discussed this with the previous activities. So that is only what I can share to both Nabigato and I don't know I don't know for the Sir Sets with what is the term of the incubator. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. We had Perlet. You have a question?
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Yeah, good noon, I guess. From CDO Bytes. I have a question because unlike Sir Siege and Sir Adele, what we did in our cohort 5, we have one mentor per one incubatee. So based on your experience, I would like to ask if what we are doing now is we conduct mentorship session twice a month, and that is 1 hour per mentorship session. Based on your experience, is that enough, or are we? Is there a? Do you have suggestions on how we can pace our mentorship sessions?
I think you'll have to figure out what works for you guys, Perlet. You know, there's no rule of thumb. You know, I think mentees will want a mentor all the time, particularly if they're free, you know, and if they have a lot to contribute, right? So, you know, I think if there's the preparation is there, there's a matchmaking's there, it doesn't always have to be every week, right? It's good to touch base with someone. We have this concept, Perlet. Are you still there? We have this concept called called anchor mentor. So you dedicate one mentor for one incubatee, because that one mentor can be that conduit that's always there helping them. So if you have a 3-month program, you're constantly having a check-in with them every week, right? Just once a week, but it's an anchor mentor. Now that's they can do a lot of different things. They might have one area of expertise, but along the way throughout that program, just say it's a 3-month program, the mentee, the incubatee might have different requests that anchor mentor might not know, right? So they might need one day about product, one day about customer persona, one day about storytelling. And, you know, there's constantly a lot of things that they need help improving and they'll need mentorship on, right? So you need to find the balance and find out again, they have to do the work. The mentees have to do their work. Yeah. And then that anchor mentor can then see, okay, look, you asked these product questions, but you haven't even figured out, done some UI and asked some focus groups. You know what I mean? Someone can just steer them and say, hey, do more before we introduce you to someone else. Now, I know that this gets heavy. It sounds like there's a lot of work. You know, there's a lot of work and you guys have your own jobs to do as well. It's hard balance, but if you want to do it right, you need to find out a way of a process that works for you guys, that works for your mentors as well in terms of their time. So it's very clear when you ask mentors, hey, are you interested in weekly? Are you interested in monthly? Because it's a lot, it's time and it's their time which you're not paying for. You know what I mean? So there's no real answer to your question. But one-on-one is very important if they're ready and you match make properly.
Thank you so much for that, sir.
I hope that helps.
It really helps.
Okay. All right. Last question. Who's the last question? Okay. That we are doing twice a month, one mentor per startup per incubator. Okay. Yeah, look, again, do a survey. You find out from the mentees and the incubatees, you know, has it been valuable? And then you can ask them if they need more time. But if you had more time with mentors, what do you need more time for, right? Different expertise, different pool of mentors. Like you can ask the questions to your incubatees as well. Then you'll be able to fine tune your program. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for your time. Good luck with everything. And please keep safe. And this, you know, it's great to talk to you guys because you guys are powering, you know, the young, the incubatees, and it's very important. We need to teach them and help them, nurture them, support them. So it's amazing work that you guys are all doing. So congratulations there. Like, you guys are awesome. Take care, guys. Keep safe.